Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and today we're going to be checking out SFO Grimhammer once again, this time focusing on Grand Cathay. You see, Grand Cathay got a decent amount of attention when it came to Shadows of Change. It introduced Yuan Bo and a bunch of new units, not a ton but a bunch. The problem is that Yuan Bo became immensely powerful. If you own the DLC, there's really no reason to play as, well, Zhao Ming or Miao Ying, which is a massive shame seeing as they are the base game legendary lords for Grand Cathay and likely the first ones that people will play. So, what the SFO team have done is decided to go back and make some additions to the two base game legendary lords in an effort to, well, just give them a little bit more fun and people can actually be incentivized to play them. So, let's discuss. So let's start off with Miao Ying, and we'll start off by the usual reading of faction effects and lord effects. Dragon's Wrath, this is a new mechanic, increases with battles won, changing faction bonuses. Bastion tiers unlock unique technologies. Ward save up to 5% when fighting against chaos in own territory for every bastion settlement. Accuracy plus 25% for all units, and weapon damage plus 1 for Dragon-Blooded Shugengen per Miao Ying rank achieved. This means that you can get them very strong if you keep increasing Miao Ying, and obviously since she's your main character, yeah, you're going to be using her in battle a lot. Finally, for lord effects we have the following: attrition, minus 50% casualties suffered from all attrition, own armies in province, and finally upkeep, minus 20% for missile infantry units in lord's army. A new mechanic known as Dragon's Wrath is available to Miao Ying alone, and this is essentially a way to show that you are the furious fighter that you will claim to be, right? Miao Ying is supposed to be the defender of Grand Cathay, and what better way to do so than by getting upkeep reduction and thus more armies, more melee defense and so on. You gain this by getting into battles, and naturally it will decline. However, when you get it to the point that Dragon's Wrath is at 10, it won't decline any further. You'll get more bonuses as you get it there, and then it will naturally drop back down to 0. Signifying that, you know, you've cleared out the Norskin, well, Hung invaders, Tong invaders, and so on that are coming for you. I kind of like this. You do get a lot of really cool bonuses here. And it's a theme thing. It bases around the defense of the Great Bastion, as you will be dealing with invaders on a semi-regular basis. You know how those invasion things work, and it's linked up to a mechanic that you already have available to you with the vanilla stuff, right? So it's kind of cool. And you might have seen that when you get your Dragon's Wrath to 10 and above, you will also get access to some unique rights only available to Miao Ying. Keep in mind that right now, since this is an early build, you won't see any names or artwork for them. But as you can see, the first one will provide experience plus 400 per turn, and character experience again plus 400. This is for a period of 10 turns. Then you've got ward save plus 10% when defending, and enemy hero action success chance minus 10%, again for 10 turns. The third one is Winds of Magic Power Reserve plus 5 per turn, cooldown minus 10% to all spells, and Winds of Magic cost minus 10% for all spells. Again, 10 turns, it's all for 10 turns. And finally the fourth one, which is one that I find very valuable at the start of your campaign, research rate plus 25%, and construction time minus 2 for all buildings to a minimum of 1 turn. This is going to make sure that you can start expanding a little bit, especially with the research, as you can get some very powerful bonuses towards your army. And the last thing is new technology. So as you level up the Great Bastion, you'll be able to start picking up new techs. Some of these will be fairly powerful, and they'll give you some bonuses faction-wide, extra recruit rank for Dragon-Blooded Shugengen. That's going to be something that you're going to be seeing a lot, which means that you're going to be getting some pretty high-level characters from a certain point of your campaign. The thing is that you do obviously have to start pushing further, upgrading this and devoting a lot of resources to that. So you're not going to be doing that early into your campaign, especially with SFO, as you do have to deal with the invaders, you do have to deal with everything inside Cathay. You know, Lokia Felhard is still an issue, you've got the Skaven there too, but it's a pretty cool system. It gives you, again, more feeling that you are protecting the Bastion itself. Also, keep in mind that these techs themselves can become fairly expensive, so don't rush them, even though the bonuses are very good, at least from my own personal experience. Until you start getting a really good push with caravans and so on, you shouldn't really focus on this because you'll want to build up other buildings buildings to be able to get the better troops and defend yourselves. I don't know, maybe it's just me, I have problems with Lokia. Lokia is very strong. Maybe it's just me, maybe I just suffer versus Dark Elves, which could also be the thing, because I always kind of struggle against them a little bit. So we're going to move on to Zhao Ming now, and we've got the following faction effects and lord effects. Faction effects, Celestial Gifts unlock alchemical rights. Caravan additional effects, casualty replenishment rate, armor and vigor loss reduction, and cargo capacity plus 10% per every caravan. You've got a lot of incentivization to use caravans. Alchemists have unique bonuses that increase per rank achieved. Allied recruitment cost minus 25%. Hero recruit rank plus 5 for alchemists. These are going to be a hero that you're going to be using a lot. And finally, for the lord effects, we have magic item drop chance plus 100%, upkeep minus 20% for melee units, and celestial gifts generated plus 1 per turn. We're going to go into that in just a little bit. So we're going to cover two things at once here. Celestial gifts are a new resource, and you gain them mostly from alchemists, and they can be used in rites. And you are aware that I did say alchemists are going to be fairly common here, and they should be, not just because they generate this resource, but also, they get a lot stronger as time progresses. You see, Secrets of Alchemy is an auto skill that you'll be able to pick up, and these will generate very large bonuses for a multitude of different things, like not only increasing stats for themselves, but increasing stats for the accompanying lord, being able to get a cooldown reduction for Lord of Metal spells, very, very useful, obviously. Recruitment cost reduction, construction cost reduction. Yeah, you're going to want to get as many alchemists up and running as possible, as they unlock the first one, but you need to get to rank 10 and rank 20 respectively to get all the other bonuses. So with this new resource, you have access to a bunch of new rights, and these are going to be very different to those of Miao Ying, mostly because Zhao Ming focuses a little bit on getting a little bit more aggressive, taking over territories rather than being more defensive. The first one focuses on targeting range plus 25% for spells, campaign movement range plus 25% for armies, and ability potion of speed for all characters faction-wide. The second one is ability potion of toughness for all characters faction-wide, armor plus 10 for melee units, and armor plus 2 per rank achieved. The third is wound recovery time minus 8 turns, construction costs minus 20% for all buildings, and ability potion of healing for all characters faction-wide. This one has actually been the most useful for me, I must say, through my playthrough, mostly because I build fast, I take over a lot of settlements, so having the construction time reduced is very useful to me, plus heals are just generally good. And for the fourth one, we have the following. Potion of Speed for all characters faction-wide, Weapon Strength plus 10% for all melee units, and Weapon Strength plus 2% per rank achieved. I do actually realize that they're jumbled, but I'm going by them chronologically, what you can see, and not by the ritual number on the top of the screen. Okay, now we're going to talk about some stuff that's affecting every single Cathayan faction. So, from the beginning of your campaign, from your first tech, all regions owned by factions that you have trade agreements with are now visible. This is something that was strictly for Yuan Bo originally, but is now available to the other dragon children. It's going to be quite useful for you if you liked that before and if you were focusing heavily on trade. Considering that obviously Cathay is kind of stylized as a trader nation for some reason, this is actually a fairly decent benefit. For those who might not be aware, you can actually use this to pretty much get trade agreements with all of Grand Cathay very early, all the Cathayan factions, and then focus on confederating them quite quickly. This is why Yuan Bo can confederate all of Cathay by around, normally turn 70. And finally, for all the factions, finally a melee hero. So if you get your barracks up to tier 3, you'll be able to recruit a Gate Master. This is a model made by Dead Baron and Inu. Again, keep in mind that I'm on an early build, so it does look like a boyar for some reason when I try to recruit one, but when you get it in game, it looks like what it's supposed to. So, based on some artwork that was found in the Total War art book, but then never released, which is kind of weird considering that the Gate Master is mentioned a few times in the Yuan Bo book. But yeah, this is a melee-focused character, which you can then decide how you're going to build it. So you've got a melee route and a defensive route, and that can decide if you're going to focus on boosting up your army's capabilities melee style or defensive wise. Yin and yang, they do vary. You get a lot of other bonuses there too. The idea is you're going to be able to recruit multiple ones. If you want like the best way possible, you should have 2 for the different buffs, but as you get to the end of each line, you will be able to make them both a yin and a yang unit for the sake of harmony. Overall, very good bonuses, very good stats. It's there to provide you some much needed melee protection for Dragon-Blooded Shugengan characters, for example. Not only that, but we are aware that since the Shadows of Change DLC, there is skills to improve the fighting capacity of melee-focused characters, and yeah, we don't have any yet. I mean, it's future-proofing by Creative Assembly, but it's also not really useful to us right now. But with this mod, yes it is. It's a support character, but it's also able to be frontline and personal, doing a lot of damage. You can get it on a warhorse, you can get it on a Longmar. Honestly, I've been quite enjoying having one on foot. The Longmar is quite good too. It very much depends on your personal choice and preference, but it is very, very useful to have in general. It looks freaking epic, which is one of the most important things. I know not that important to some people, but it's the case of, you know, visually it fits with everything. It looks like the art that we saw. And obviously you have to keep in mind that we do have some units that were already available from previous SFO patches, like the automatons and so on, just to add in a little bit of flavor, give you a little bit more variety. There are some changes, like the 2 cats that were introduced with Shadows of Change, the Jet Lion and the Jade Lion, now are 4 entities rather than 1, which means that they're better for charging, in all honesty. I've kind of liked it this way. It just kind of makes sense, rather than just being one big creature, which, yeah, just kind of put me off. Maybe because they were a bit too slow. But these are the changes coming to Grand Cafe in the newest patch, Kingdoms and Wildlands, this Friday, the 29th of September. Wow, this year is going very fast. What do you guys think about all the changes coming up? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. The SFO team will be checking out the video to see what you guys think regarding everything. And I'll see you all again very, very soon, guys. Have a good day.